Yeah, y'all gotta understand these mixes. It's not just like a regular DJ set. I have a lot of research involved with in like delving deep into the lyrics, trying to understand a lot of things going on with the song in context to an overarching theme that I kind of weave together through these mixes, and hit at a certain subject through a lot of different angles, through a lot of different great artists, and yeah, I mean, you've seen presentations or even like video essays. It's kind of like the same thing with that depth, just through music, though. So yeah, just appreciate those who've gained anything from this, even if it just like motivates you to just, I don't know, listen to better music.
When I flip or rip a rhyme, granted the free will and that's chill, feeling the need to build while real still goes round on the mound that stands still as the thrilling money woke on the other. Some wonder as if I'm blind, can see the corners who's warning, who's coming, won't stumble. Goddamn, it's not an added feature, came with it. High damage, plot and little seizures to the bleachers. You're sitting, spectator, hater of all trades, full of disgusting ambitions to explode for my soul and those, and plus I'm just a load of drifting on the road, cruising down the highway with my soul. Some think I'm lost, but I know my way home. So you quote unquote keeping it real.
You're still front.
Give the people something that they can feel
instead of nothing. So don't keep the feel concealed.
Reveal something.
We're bringing you good vibrations.
Tell me something. What do y'all get when you take hip hop with jazz music, fuse it into an abstract movement in one union? My mom's put me on to it. The same a Tribe Called Q and Gangstar used to influence hip hop's fusion. Built on improvising. Different quotes similar to how jazz musicians syncopate music notes. What's the difference in ciphers and jam sessions? Freaking instruments the same way you freak rhyme schemes and expressions. I guess I'm not here to confuse y'all with these sentences. I just feed off the vibe that decompose. Hit me holes with the vibe. I can't help but get intimate. We're making love to this art. My heart is always into it.
Decompose to give you vibrations. KT you give you vibrations. FUB you give you vibrations. Going out to your hoods and your nation.
I think you're muted. Yo, bonjour. Oh no, still can't hear you.
Now?
There we go. Yeah.
We are live. My name is Geri Cabezudo from SoundPath.org, as well as LiberationAcademy.education and GoddesLoveTruthLife.com. And I am here with Derek Bartolicelli, who is helping amazingly with all the SoundPath watch parties. He's instrumental with a lot of the background behind the scenes stuff for organizing SoundPath. This festival would not happen without you, Derek. And he's also one of our performers. So we're interviewing you, and yeah, would love to hear about how SoundPath has been for you and organizing it and other projects that you do.
Yeah, Jerry, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, and yeah, honored to share this platform with you. And just wow, it's like really overwhelming, the amount of energy and people and considerations and intentions that are all behind this from so many people that have not really been even mentioned, I think sometimes. So yeah, and you've been doing a lot of groundwork behind the scenes and like talking to people in real life and all this stuff, which is great because we got to get back to the roots of that. And these types of conferences where we're doing a music festival that was inspired from like the freedom under natural law, conference that was inspired from like the Seed Academy conference, and that was inspired from like the Free Your Mind conferences, and those were the ones that were happening in real life. Unfortunately, I think the Seed one, the first one, they were able to do that before the dawning of the Rona, and then things shifted and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just it's really cool how you see the progression and the ripple effects of these things, and just tapping into different areas where, yeah, I love the little catchphrase on the website. It's like, because truth needs a soundtrack as well, right, guys?
Yeah. I love everything you said about how all these seeds kind of led to this journey, because it was actually not just Leslie Powers and Conrad, who's also on our lineup presentations, but your presentation as well for the Freedom Under Natural Law Conference number 4, and that Care to Action theme that you guys had, which you also were involved with for organizing. You do so much for the One Great Work, and I need to definitely like put you on blast again. Just shout out for all that you do. Like, you definitely need like to be considered for like a One Great Work Network Award or something, because you're working right now at like 3 or 4 a.m. or something where you're at, and you do that routinely with us Americans. So um, so anyway, so yeah, and then, but yeah, like I think, Free Your Mind inspired, Seed inspired, Funnel inspired SoundPath, and it's just been a beautiful progression, and we're all sort of trying to keep that flame alive. Um, but I would love to hear about lessons learned. And we can talk more about this also for our last day of the SoundPath Festival, which is happening Labor Day weekend. We're doing a sort of closing reflection panel the last day with artists and organizers. But yeah, what has organization been like for you, having done Funnel and having been part of SoundPath? And feel free to be honest.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, I'm laughing just because, yeah, it's quite humbling. These things, it keeps you on your toes, and the networking is cannot be underestimated or understated. And there's a lot of people in the mix, and we gotta kind of keep tabs and be on the same page and all that stuff. In regards to the funnel conference, I mean, it was something I was really flattered and surprised that it's like, yeah, like I have done just like things on my own merit. Excuse me.
Oh,
In regards to like trying to promote the conference and stuff, and making little promo clips and this and that, and because I'm in really good friends with Chris Jansen, who's one of the head founders of the the Funnel, Freedom Under Natural Law, the acronym. Y'all get it, right? Not you, Jerry, because but anyone out there listening. But I've been hanging out with him and Leslie. They live together and up in NorCal, or Northern California, and hung out with them for like maybe 20 days
wow.
in total, possibly. But yeah, and like spending like a week at their place one time, and just like 5 days, and just like a couple of pockets of visitations, and it's just great. And I bring my work with me. I have my laptops and all that stuff, and so, and it was Funnel 3 where I was still in America and stuff, and even Funnel 4, I came back for a month to see my nephew, my family, and also take my wheels out for one last spin before I probably have to sell this car. But yeah, hanging out with them, and like, oh yeah, we're gearing up for Funnel 4 and stuff. So yeah, like when you're in communication, like directly, like interacting with them face to face, like you have, Jerry, with a good amount of people as well, like thinking about the Pork Fest collaborations, and like having artists, come through from that. And so yeah, like that's such inspirational, motivational thing to hear from you on your end, Jerry, as well.
Yeah, I definitely am very much inspired by all the work that you guys did with Funnel. And I just wanted to add to, your and other people's, music presentations and the music in between. And yes, you want to plug the next funnel?
Funnel 5. It's going down. It's designed to ignite that soul spark to motivate minds and hearts towards right action and just right gnosis and right communication within yourself and other people, and all these things. That fire of, I don't want to say desire, that's cliche, but even though I love the rhyme scheme, but the fire, the alchemical fire of passion, and think of the tarot and like the elemental correspondences of these things, right? So anyways, but to coming back full circle with the funnel stuff. So yeah, we have certain, we're tasked with certain things to do, and it was cool, just like, oh yeah, tell me what to do. Okay, gotta run down the line of introductions for all the presenters and this and that. I was like, yeah, for sure, because it's cool to get to know everyone that I'm not too familiar with and stuff, or even people that I think I know as good as well. It's like, oh yeah, this person is doing that. Yeah, peaceful penguin. I see you, brother. Yeah, it's going down for sure. Anyways, Jerry, what's good?
Yeah, and what's it like? And feel free to be honest, like working with organizers for Funnel, which has more of a like established sort of, I imagine, system, having done it for, for soon to be 5 years. Whereas like we're like ground level, like we're doing this from scratch. I'm learning from you on what we need to do for like title cards, and like it's something that I don't pay attention to much as I should. But just like stuff like that, like you're almost a torchbearer directly from Funnel, helping learning and sharing your learnings with us at SoundPath. So what's that like for you, as to be almost like a sort of mentor?
It's overbearing. No, but it's flattering to say the least. Just because at the same time, I still feel like a newbie with really getting into the mix, like uh, full on with the Funnel crew last February, which you guys should check out if you haven't already. I still haven't posted my presentation that I put on there on my platforms, just because it's like that was a special kind of one-off. I wanted to do an extended version that just got put on the back burners and kind of cooled off a little bit too long. But anyways, so it feels interesting to, and it's like I don't feel like I'm the shit and I got everything figured out. I'm learning as we go along as well, and there's so much to consider. And I'm thinking about just like in real life, how were music events really conducted and organized and this and that? Like, how is the promotion, the marketing, and the outreach to all the artists, and making sure that they're uh, well taken care of, and they're, and like, this is a real thing. This is happening. We need, this, that, and the other from you, as well as possibly, like, especially in the age of the social media and stuff. Yeah, we were asking folks for like little 1 minute clips for little promo stuff, so and having that material, I can weave things together and stuff, and we could throw them into our festival as well. So there's a lot of media elements, and I know your partner and a good friend of mine in the One Great Work Network, John Chidester, is just he's got a lot of stuff going on with the fuck ton of talent backing it, including that care, So yeah, lost principle.
Yeah, we have John's St. John's definitely taken up a lot of the sort of like technical execution aspect of this festival. I'm thinking we're probably logistically going to do a lot of like pre-recorded, because I'm inspired by how you guys did that. It just decreases technical difficulties kind of thing. So, yeah, just so grateful for everyone bringing their expertise from their previous, sort of one great work experiences. John was involved with huge event stuff here in Florida with Corey and others. So, he's definitely used to like doing something of the scale in terms of live streaming and stuff. So, or, being aware of like needs for that. So, um, let's talk about your music. So you're not only organizing, well, before we do that, let's talk about all that you're doing for the One Great Work. So you're part of Funnel, you're part of SoundPath, you are a DJ for Awaken Your Mind, you do a podcast, Dissolving the Divide with Leslie Powers, you're on One Great Work Warriors. Did I miss anything? nattylaw.com. Oh, it looks
Yeah,
like you're muted.
and there was that good old Europa Natural Law for a minute.
Europa. Oh, yeah, I
That was
forgot it.
cool. Maybe not so much anymore, but yeah, them One Great Work Warriors, which is going live on Chris's channel in like 55 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to maybe stop around then.
Yeah, no
So
worries.
we're not competing. Hi, Roderick. So yeah, tell me about what your you've been into music for a while, and you also, as we've talked a little bit about and touched on in our watch parties, you have a background actually in spoken word poetry in the San Francisco Bay Area scene. So tell me about that. How did you come to be, interested in, hip hop, DJing, etc.?
Yeah, totally. And yeah, living out in the burbs outside of the city. It wasn't as gritty, but it was fine because we would go in there and even sneak out from our houses and all that stuff just to hit up all these open mics from Oakland to San Francisco. There's a good amount, and we had one of my best friends was hella hungry just to like do his spoken word stuff, freestyle, get into street ciphers and even battle rap and that kind of stuff. And so we targeted, a good amount of spots just for him and this and that. And we would just be kind of floating around him and just getting into the cipher a little bit as much as we could, sloppy freestyle bullshit and beatboxing to whatever degree. And it was just cool, But I was never one to really get up on the stage and in these open mics. That wasn't my thing. I had poor penmanship at the time, even though I had like good mental thoughts, but it couldn't be translated. It's like I had my throat chakra blocked and all this stuff. And so the crown, it's like my heart wasn't open enough to have the floodgates open to the higher senses. I think, to get that real third eye fucking vision and raps and whatever the fuck. But and even then, like I haven't really written a whole lot. I have some stuff that I haven't really shared in public, but yeah, I've just been inspired and like I see myself trying to rap over a beat and it just sounds offbeat all the time sometimes, and it's like, yeah, I like the spoken word, just a cappella and all that stuff as well, but I just prefer to just talk and cadence and just speak my mind, which is I kind of mentioned this to you I think the other week. It was just like for the longest time, like my brain just wants to rhyme with things, even if it doesn't even make sense, but it took a long time to articulate these things and blah blah blah, right? But yeah.
And then, what sort of, I mean, obviously, you have a really good ear. Like how, I think that like any skill, it's sort of like sharpens through time and your ability to, I love, and I mentioned this to you, you shared a set on time, and I think it's some of your best work. I know we can't feature that whole set today, but what I liked about it in particular, and I said this to you the other day, is, it just made me like think on like this like universal scale, like holy shit, like time, like music is like part of the Caribbean is playing with time, and he's talking about time, and didn't I hear this phrase before? And like, oh my God, I'm having deja vu, and like it was just it put me on like all these like thought trains, and it sounded good too.
Wow, thank you so much. And I do have a little 1 minute clip I can share.
Cool.
Because I have 8 different mixes, upwards to like probably 12 hours of this, hip hop time capsule stuff. Anyone out there listening, some of y'all know what's up with that. But yeah, I took out a little snippet and threw some visuals to it, and it goes a little something like what? Like this.
Now tell me who's the Einstein fronting on your fine line from my divine mind dropped on the timeline. This is my stitch in time, enriching minds and twisting backs with the simplistic raps. I never.
In praying hills with time, I heard all of those lines.
When it comes to lyrics, I always find something to make brothers press the rewind button.
Here's a dope line, one time for your mind. If you're deaf, dumb, and blind, you're suspended in time.
Outclass the mass, overlooking the hourglass. No time to waste for those in contrast.
You know that when your mind feels exact in time.
Mother said time flies when you're having fun. Pop said it flies even if you're having none.
In the realm of the consciousness, I'm born again, worn out, but stably able to sift through the sands in my hourglass and reconnect the scraps that were torn asunder while traversing the umbra. I can recover only tip.
But as time keeps living, his music expressions motivate.
So we definitely, before we go into detail with the music, you also have a like really good eye. Like I will be the first to admit, and you know this about me now since you were working with me, aesthetics doesn't come high on my list. In general, in my life, I used to wear makeup. I have a tendency not to just because I'm lazy about it. But just like, but you really make things look nice. You know how to do that, and you have a good eye for that. Have you always sort of been visual with your yeah?
Yeah, even, with considering what you wear, trying to match colors or see a contrast in things or just whatever, improvise and just like, what, fuck it, sometimes you got to break that kind of like mind pattern trapping or blocking in a sense. Like you're stuck on this one thing all the time. It's like, really now? Like they're just clothes or it's just a image, it's just a video thumbnail, it's just whatever, right? And it's creation. It's the spectrum of reality and the sound song frequency and all these things that have just been manifested for us to perceive it in these ways, I guess.
I think a lot about how DJing is. I'm concerned about DJing become a sort of lost art with the rise of AI because, the AI will just mix my songs together and tell me what to listen to, or the AI will generate the image that goes with the song. But clearly, from your work, having a natural intelligence, and uh, you're not going by an algorithm, you're going by, your knowledge of aesthetics and balance and, timing, and you're more thoughtful than an AI would be. And I know, we've talked a little bit about AI in the past and how folks feel about it. And I know it can be a divisive issue, but what are your thoughts on this idea that do you think DJing is going to continue to be a thing or?
Yeah, it'll always be a thing. Although, unfortunately, a lot of people will be, pulled in the wrong directions of the inauthentic versions, and to whatever degree it's going to be of whatever quality, it is what it is. I have no control over how these things and how other people are going to react and interpret them, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, like the real recognize real, kind of always and forever at the same time, and especially taking it back to the OGs. I'm not thinking about original gangsters. I'm thinking about more of the original generators, like from that generative principle of care that made them want to, scratch a fucking beat from a different genre and have another record spin over it and go back and forth and all this stuff and making the crowd go wild and just throwing in a couple little hey ho, and then like things are dancing and you have a different vibe and there's a movement towards that, and decades later there's billions of songs that are based off of that type of shit.
Yeah,
They can't
exactly.
take that away from us. They can't rewrite that fucking history. And I'm had my mix, series, with that in mind of just keeping the underground alive as well.
And how you've talked to me before about this, but also for our audience, might as well go through it again and just ask, like, how do you find, especially now with so many artists coming out and with the algorithms censoring, truth speakers and like conscious music, like, how are you finding artists these days, these underground conscious artists?
Yeah, I was lucky to have I guess, inheritance money from a unfortunate, passing of grandparents, and I invested a lot into just buying tapes and CDs a long time ago, even when I was like not even like 20 years old. And I took that with me to France, where I really became much more intimate to it and had a more inner ear for these things, because all of a sudden I found myself in a different country, not understanding like 80% of what people are saying. Obviously, I flipped the script on that over time, but music was like my best friend out there. Time to like just go through the whole catalogs. I had so many like CDRs and things burned from tape to digital and stuff, and I had to organize them, put the all the song titles and all this stuff. And so that's when I first was with my ex-wife at the time, and she had a Mac, and I wasn't really used to that, but I was like, oh yeah, there's this iTunes stuff, and it actually worked to a good degree of organizing all this stuff and being able to like do a word search of all these songs that correlate to a specific topic and all this stuff. And I was always down with like just creating little playlists and this and that, but I'd taken it further and this and that. And after having my spiritual awakening, whatever, yeah, one of the founders right there, Grandmaster Flash and DJ
Oh,
Eric, yeah. I wanted to be one of my favorite DJs, just myself. I don't have the skill sets as like real DJs that have inspired me to do what I do, but I wanted to have like a unique sound and just like as much all killer no filler as possible, that kind of stuff. And when I say all killer, it's just like killing the ignorance in a just like killer dope lyrical verses and the wordplay, and it just makes sense, and there's a lot of reason to those rhymes.
for sure. Shall we play another sample for your work and showing our audience the breadth of your work? And it looks like we have some fun people in the chat too.
Yeah, Peaceful Penguin, he's a cool cat, yo. Hey, what's going on, Leslie?
Hi, Leslie.
Yeah, I don't know if I got, what do I got?
Leslie's wonderful too.
Yeah, she is part of that, what do you call it? Dissolving the Divide, yeah.
Yeah. It's how I got introduced to both of you guys first. I watched that show. I think I watched Leslie on a girls' club, and then I wanted to find out more about her, and then I saw that you guys were doing a podcast, and then I found out who you were.
Ah, okay, really? Oh, cool. Jeez, I wasn't preparing for this, but let's just play this because you're talking about bringing some breath up into the mix and keeping it fresh. These are just quick little intros that I can just whip up because I have a catalog of so many things I could pull from that are kind of in my mind and kind of are relevant to something. And I got to catch up on the chat.
I know it's hard. Yeah, go ahead.
I got the next sequence in my head. I used the snippet of that for the funnel little promo thing there with the Joe Murray that was on deck right there. But yeah.
I'm wearing Joe Murray's shirt today. I finally got it.
Oh,
Man.
Should have worn mine.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I also ordered a SoundPath t-shirt, which is on its way. So if we want to plug that, you and Theo at nattylaw.com, your outpost. We have SoundPath merch for sale available if you want to help us out so that we can, continue supporting our artists first and foremost, and then the organizers. But artists come first, and you're one of our artists. So
yeah, I'm putting everyone before myself, and got some cool little mini collaborations within this music festival. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, for me, for those listening, this SoundPath stuff means a lot to me, and it's bringing home a lot of things that I've been having in my mind that I wanted to do for years. Not even to the level of, I'm just talking about like the watch party stuff. I never expected to do like a music festival thing and be even participating, less, be like helping organize or hosting or whatever, right? So yeah, this is incroyable, quoi. I'm losing my words in English. I gotta switch to French now. But
merci beaucoup.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a pleasure working with you, and like I feel like because you have a bit more podcasting experience and sort of like newer podcaster like me, like you have a tendency to do transitions between songs really well because, hey, you have experience being a DJ. So, um, just I'm learning from you. I'm learning from the rhetoric stage of how to sort of intro a song, sort of keep on the agenda with time and the sets and everything. So you're always good about that. So thank you for, yeah, just teaching us, teaching me. Very grateful for that, man. Um, yeah, let's talk about, your visuals. So, not only are you sampling music, you're sampling visuals. Is that right? And how are you sourcing those?
I'm sourcing them from a pretty eclectic variety of things. Back, even it's 2025. Holy shit! Like even like a decade ago or a dozen years ago, I would see a lot of documentaries and stuff, and I would see some of the visuals, and I would make as I would do for the timestamps of certain sound samples that I wanted to either look back to, which was the initial thing, and then re-listening to those, like, man, this is gold. Why don't I just lace that over beats and that kind of stuff? And so that was kind of like, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be something that'll be my signature style in a sense, And yeah, what's up, Cynthia from Life
Hi,
Daily?
Cynthia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had a great podcast with her and Soul Expression and Mario West. All three of us are gonna be in the festival and stuff.
Yay.
Fuck yeah. Uh, so, watching videos and I don't know if you have a Mac or whatever, but you take, whatever keyboard shortcuts, 2-3 strokes, and you have a screenshot.
Right.
I would just have those in folders, and oh yeah, got the visuals and this and that. And I first started off. The first one I did was a marijuana docu-musical. Kind of rehashing and mashing up
Rehashing.
yeah, extra resin up in that shit. So folks can properly resonate with the messages involved and all this stuff musically, and documentary, but a docu-musical. So I was lacing the commentary of the documentary over some beats, and then have some of the lyrics talk about weed and marijuana, but also the medicinal aspects of it as well, and throwing up a bunch of visuals and stuff. I was kind of, yeah, you kind of begin unrefined, and you have just like still frames and stuff. You don't have them moving around. You don't add extra like pizzazz or video edits to having a still image but making it move or zoom in or zoom out or cut in, or and having proper transitions and that kind of stuff. Although yeah, it's like you learn along the way, and
Right.
yeah, so whatever quality you are producing at the time is your skill level, and it's going to show, and it's fine. I just thought that, yeah, the conscious messages matter the most, and that was the main thing I was trying to impress upon the viewers. It was never about me, and like I was trying to keep my name out of all my works, and like having the pseudonym of I started with D-Rock for like a couple years, and then I was like, let's switch that up. AwakenYaMind. Yeah, that was a song that inspired me from Living Legends. So yeah, let's just roll with that. And then all of a sudden, that term kind of got watered down, and
Right.
you changed it again, or what the fuck? But anyways,
Um, you've been really good about understanding how to navigate censorship slash copyright algorithms. What sort of tips can you give content creators who want to share conscious music and conscious lyrics?
oof. expect copyright strikes. Normally, they're going to go under the radar of where your video is going to be blocked worldwide, and so it's never going to see the light of day, which has happened dozens of times. And the thing is with ScrewTube, of course, with the censor shit, is that
Yeah.
these things, evolve and devolve and whatever the hell, like over time. And so what would have been copyrighted, last year could be good to go this year, that kind of stuff. And so that's why I've been kind of like showcasing, especially on the live streams in recent years, just any kind of mix that is no longer on YouTube. Because, I have 130 different music mixes to choose from. It's kind of like overwhelming just to think about that. It's like, I did all that? Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell?
It's
I was like,
amazing.
on some shit. And it was never about like drugs and shit. I just smoke weed. Yeah, I drink alcohol sometimes, especially in the past, but not as much. But I just have that fucking drive and life force energy. That's just, it's just nonstop. It's like relentless. This feeling that I have in my heart and gut and spirit,
I'm just gonna ask you a personal question right now. I feel called to do it. How do you keep doing what you're doing at the rate that you're doing it at? Because I'm just living a slice of your life where I'm like podcasting every day and I'm fucking exhausted. Like, how do you? I mean, for me, I'm just like, it just needs to be done, and you just do it. But how are you taking care of yourself through that process? How are you motivating yourself to move forward with all the projects?
My ass is just glued to the seat, tons of hemorrhoids and, just living life, no, just kidding. Imagine that. No, just kidding. Sorry for that graphic thought, but no, it's like I'm out here in the Mediterranean. Things are great, and wherever I've been traveling, you have to keep the proper state of mind. It doesn't matter whatever state or place on the map you're at. It's all about your state of fucking mind. First principles, mentalism, take it to the Hermetica, and just right. So yeah, and having a name like AwakenYaMind means that like I never wanted to be pretentious about this, and I hold myself accountable to that. Like, and yeah, sometimes I might be like my eyes are droopy at 5 a.m. or 3 because it'd be what it be. But working around the clock and breaking that shit and breaking stereotypes and breaking whack ass stereos, that bullshit they be playing on the radios and all that shit. But it's just about becoming more of a sovereign being and saying, fuck this shit, fuck these programs, fuck the social conditionings of all this stuff. I'm living my lifestyle. I'm going to freestyle that shit a little bit more. I'm going to live a non-linear lifestyle. I'm not going to be chained to like, oh yeah, I got to work the next day. Big fucking deal. Maybe I'll just stay up until I got to go to work. It doesn't fucking matter. I have the juice to go. I don't know what drives me sometimes, but when you've been awakened, I feel like there's been something more than just the 2 strands of my DNA that's been activated, if you will. That's what I meant when I had my awakening. Like it was a serious frequency shift, as if like the universe zapped me. It was traumatic.
Wow.
I was weeping for at least, like half a fucking hour and like hyperventilating through half of it, like shaking like it couldn't move type of shit. And chakra, the crown was just ringing off the charts. But and it's just been that way a little bit here and there. You have your ebbs and flows ever since 2012. What a year to be alive,
Wow.
right?
That's amazing.
You gotta
Oof.
juice. You gotta have proper. I detox a good amount and stuff, but yeah, just you gotta throw out, proper protocols of, maintaining stuff and like when you go into bed and how are you going to bed. I try to sit down, do a little meditative, state before going to bed and that kind of stuff. And sometimes I have to force myself to go to bed sometimes, But anyways, yeah. You're gonna say? Sorry to cut you.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was just going to go back to this idea of, you know, where streaming on a platform that we're aware is censoring a lot of content, including through copyright, strikes of music. And I think there's a reason for that. I think, the censorship algorithms are working in such a way where they don't want conscious music to be heard. That's why, we're on an uphill battle in a way to get this sort of messaging and music out there. Um, what are your thoughts in terms of sort of s- thinking more strategically as a movement, like how to go about navigating these obstacles?
Yeah, so that reminded me to what I wanted to mention before with the copyright stuff. I mean, you can look up a whole bunch of YouTube tutorials about these things where you would reach out to every specific, copyright holder of whatever song you're trying to showcase, whatever, If you do a little snippet, normally it'll slide, but yeah, especially if you're going to be doing a podcast and showcasing that every podcast, you want to get a hold of those people and make
Right.
sure that it's okay and make them uh, reassure them rather that it's promoting their music as well, and having a proper uh, backing of credits in the description, like, yeah, this is an intro song by such and such. Hey, sometimes I slip on that as well because I admit I'm kind of doing too much sometimes, and yeah, you make a video and this and that. For me, like making these music videos and mixes has been the hardest thing I've ever done. And when I do these podcasts, just talking, it's like, wow, this is cool. It's not that hard, and I don't have to do a fuck ton of edits. Like, and spend weeks in doing this shit.
Yeah.
Like, but yes, but it's not to say that it's easy peasy, because it's not, especially when you have to be properly refined with the rhetoric, and I was not the best in the past for sure. And
Yeah.
I've put out like over like, or sorry, I've just recorded myself, at least 200 times over the past like 10 years, even like little audio stuff. And listen to this, like, I'm not going to put this on out in public, but I mean, it's good to see where I'm at and just like correct myself. And you know what I mean? You kind of just go over things with the fine tooth comb or whatever. And like, maybe your comb isn't as fine tooth, but when you get at better levels of, it's going to get finer, and that's that refinements. And, you know, anyways.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I definitely feel like I've evolved even in the short, like less than a year that I've been doing this, right? Which is I'm saying and a little less. And I still do it though. John's laughing at me. And go I just did it now. By the way, I do a lot or because of you, because I'm podcasting with you so much, I started like doing these like Frenchisms. Um, Going back to what you said about navigating the copyright algorithms, that's why I'm doing these artist interviews, so we have proof. Hey, we had an hour long conversation with Derek, we had an hour long conversation with so and so, and that's why we're playing their music, because here's the proof that we played their music before and we got their blessing before. So for you to copyright strike us, check out this video that we did where we're interviewing the artist saying that we can play their music. Like that's the level that I'm finding we're having to go to make sure that there's no copyright strikes when we live stream. And why we're doing Odyssey and Rumble as well, because we can't just rely on YouTube for these things. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, hell no. Yeah. No, that my thoughts are like, hats off to you for considering that. I didn't even have that in mind, with the whole intention behind, interviewing all these artists. That's just something I wanted to do for years. And the fact, we're just getting it in and it's all like really concentrated, and yeah, it's great. And then what you consider is really thoughtful as well. But for me, it's like I'm not putting out my own proper music. I'm
Well, sure, but
doing a DJ set of some stuff, and I'm crossing a good amount of genres, even a little section of some EDM shit, like electro dance music. And I know that the majority of those are not, are very questionable. And so I'm thinking about having to reformulate half of my mix, or a quarter of it at least. But
okay.
c'est la vie. It happens and stuff, and yeah.
It's gonna be really good. I'm very excited. Shall we play maybe a sneak peek from that set, or do you want to play something else? Maybe to showcase your work. And I'm going to just politely disagree with you. I do consider what you're doing your own art. In French, I think the term is pastiche or a collage. You're That's what a DJ is. You're taking little clips or snippets and weaving them together with cool transitions, and like, how is that not art? How is that not work as well? How is that not, I mean, you could go really, sort of into the woods about it and be like, well, you could say Picasso was influenced by this and that artist, he was influenced by this and that artist. And so it's like, at what point is something quote unquote original and when is something quote unquote, and it's like, I think for DJing specifically, I do consider it an art unto its own. What are your thoughts on this idea?
Mm. Oh, no, I totally agree with you. I was just saying that, and I'm not trying to be defensive. I'm just saying that I don't really make my own music. Like, I'm not a rapper, or I'm not making tracks and that kind of stuff. So I don't have anything that I produce that I can just like copyright music wise.
Sure, copywriting, yeah.
Yeah. Although I don't know if, like a DJ set is something copyrightable. Not like I'm looking to do that, but anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you and I were talking about the copyright strikes, and we're like, we're not even making money from this. It's not like we're doing the ScrewTube ads and taking DARPA money for censorship. Like, we're really doing this for free. We're putting it on for free, and hopefully people will donate, so to pay
Yeah.
the artists. But yeah, let's check out your maybe some more music from you before it's a mixtape, yes, for those that remember mixtapes.
Yeah, exactly.
In the
Um,
chat.
yeah, I see that. Ah,
And if you don't want to, or if you need more time, I'm just gonna just quickly plug that. Again, for those that are just tuning in, SoundPath.org. We're going to be streaming all weekend long, Labor Day weekend. Well, not all weekend. There's going to be breaks so that we can sleep as a team between days. But um, Friday night, August 29th, we're going to be doing an opening sort of group meditation, just bring positive intentions to humanity. And then Saturday, all day artists, presenters, performers. Sunday, right now it's looking like the live in-person ticketed event is that we're also going to live stream for free for people. That time's getting bigger. So we thought it was going to be from 8 to 11. It's now from 5 to 11, with 33, aka Derek Bros, is going to be both rapping as 33 as well as presenting as Derek Bros. Brendan Daniel, singer-songwriter, met him at PorkFest, awesome guy, did an interview with him recently. Joe Murray is from the One Great Word Network, wearing a shirt. Hi, Crypt Rick, who introduced me to Joe Murray's work. He's going to be performing. Lady Maverick, who I met, she's a femc singer, beautiful soprano. She's going to be performing, as well as our very own Conrad Ragos, who is a very talented rapper, and he's finishing an album for this festival to perform live and in person and live streamed. He's amazing, and he's helping us with organization. What a active chat we have today. How exciting.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, this restream thing sucks. Adds something, and then I'm trying to load something up, but it's gonna automatically play it once I click it. But I'm in limbo. I can't, check on the chat or showcase the stuff. But yeah, no worries. So this one got that fire of motivation, things that I was talking about of what drives me and all that stuff, and this kind of exemplifies things that I feel that keep pushing me to strive for better, for the right cause, and knowing that there's there's a lot of whack ass shit out there. Let's raise the standards. Like, what the fuck are we doing sometimes? God damn. And like all the whack shit and the folks faking it to make it, those are the ones getting the fame and the money and a lot of stuff. I'm not looking for that. It's more about it's the influential clouts, I guess, to put it in a different way. You know what I mean? It's not about like being famous. It's about the message being famous. It's about truth being famous.
Right.
So voila. You been in the trenches like this before?
I'm getting used to it, having to go harder. Fuck with me, cause I'm a go farther. Pardon me, I'm on my way, I'm carving out my lane. Tomorrow is now today. I came from behind, never faded by the pain. It made me wanna try, even harder every time. I promise, I'm going farther than the stars up in the sky. Just being honest, the dark horse wants to talk for. We the ones that beat the odds more. See you on the court. Looking forward to it, this is the final score. Underdog, underrated, underexposed. Understanding the answers under my nose. Underground like a diamond under the dirt. Undermine all of the reasons why they mining the earth. Under pressure, try refining me and it hurts. I am forever, I'm shining for what it's worth. Underseated, pain preceded my birth. Welcome to the world, get ready to put in work.
Oh man, I definitely love how long your mixes are. It's tough to do like a sort of typical artist interview because I was telling Derek before we started, normally for these types of interviews, I've been sort of asking, artists to sort of go through their song and then, we'll discuss it sort of thing. But the songs are usually like 3 or 5 minutes long. And for, a DJ set, I just can't believe people have this conception that that it's not work. Cause think about how much work, you put into that for the visuals. And John is indicating that I show everyone my shirt, which I already did, honey. And also talk about someone in the chat said, can you add a link here for the merch shop, which is again on the nattylaw.com website in the outpost. I love the chat that's going on. So, yeah, so you want to talk about the Natty Law website?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, Theo was the one that, spearheaded that. He made that, collaborated with them, and had a whole music page dedicated to artists that really talk about natural law. And I'm missing some artists for sure. And I need to include some of the folks that I'm being introduced to in this music festival, right? So, yeah, and it's just like, it's a portal. It's kind of like how my channel and mixtapes were designed to be. It's a portal to, like, what is a mixtape? Yeah, a compilation, right? It's to check out a lot of different artists, and you hear a dope track, and like, damn, what are these guys about? I want to check out their whole fucking catalog. You hear someone like Mark Passio, Max Egan, Marco Tsarion, 1 time, 3 times, like, damn, I need to go through their whole fucking podcast or something, because it can be that compelling. And it could be that catalyst for someone to, I don't like to use the word rabbit hole, but, to dive in deeper into the wells of wisdom from these artists, these truth speakers, and all these things, blast it through your speakers, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad. And just on an organizational level, because, I'm not just here to just put on a festival. Like, I want to inspire other people to do this. Um, Originally when we were talking about merch for the concert, I was like, crap, like, I don't know if we have the budget to like buy a bunch of merch and hold on to it. And, and so you were saying, hey, I have this system where um, they do all of that. So do you wanna talk about how, you know, the whole merch situation is changing online?
I miss that because I'm focused on the
Oh,
car.
sorry.
The merch stuff,
Basically,
I don't know. I don't really, like we have a thing linked up. Teespring, it's not the best, but it gets the job done.
yeah, well, basically nowadays, for those that are interested in festival running or conference or just any sort of thing involving merch, you don't have to buy, 100 t-shirts and hope to sell them. There's t-shirt companies now that, they'll make it and send it, and you don't really have to do much on your end. So,
Right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that was all. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. I know it's late.
No. No.
So
You're all good.
Yeah, I just yeah, want to thank you for joining not just the organizational aspect of this, but also the artistic aspect, and also for inspiring me to do this conference in the first place, like with Funnel. You're such a huge, uh, you're like the heartbeat of this festival, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I thought it was you.
No, man, I see you, man.
It's the collective as well, but damn, yeah, that's touching, heartfelt for sure, yo. And yeah, for me, I don't have a car out here in France. I never did. I don't even have a driver's license. They don't do a proper smooth transition, which is fine. But I got my bicycle, or if it was more of a flat surface where I live, I had my skateboard back in the day with soft wheels, be cruising, and I'd be having my headphones. And there's so much music that inspires me on a daily basis. I have 1,000 reasons to be motivated and inspired. Having that spire ritual, like Peaceful Penguin was talking about, breaking down the word, respire, breathing life is what we're doing, breathing life into others with that inspiration, to get them to have any kind of motivation to act uh, in a better place to be, I guess, and just, I don't want to, I'm starting to sound all preachy and getting
Oh, no, I love what you're saying about yeah, no, you're good, you're doing great. I just love the way you're sort of talking basically and sort of adding to your answer before about, what keeps you going, what motivates you, and it sounds like music is part of that generative, experience for you. And for me too, and I think that's, why we're doing this festival. Um, and before I forget, I want to shout out the One Great Work Network, which you're on and which I'll be joining shortly. So very excited to be in such amazing company. Um, I don't think this SoundPath Festival would be where it is now had it not been for all these amazing people like you, like Mark, like, St. John, like Derek Bros, on that One Great Work Network who are willing to, help a kind of newcomer being like, hey, I kind of want to start a festival. Do you guys want to help kind of thing? And like, we're like doing that. And then all the people in the background that aren't getting any, airtime credit, Nathan Webb, Meg Carell, those two, are doing a lot of, Meg in particular is helping a ton with outreach and organizing and stuff. So, it's just like there's just so much in the background that people just aren't aware that, Chris Callahan's helped us with some of the watch party stuff, reaching out to artists. Um, so yeah, just a lot of people that, Theo's on the website, doing that. Um, We have producer Mike helping us stream from Mark's house because Mark's so nice and giving us his house basically to run the festival from. So, because like I mentioned in another podcast, like here in Central Florida where we're at, we just don't have the bandwidth to run a festival. And we're in the woods. Like it's just not a thing here. So, but yeah, it's basically standing on the shoulders of giants, as was mentioned in the chat, like, and just the community coming together and caring together, inspiring each other. You inspire me.
Likewise, yeah.
Cool. Anything you want to add? Maybe another track or any last sort of reflections? That's
Yeah,
funny.
no worries, Rick. You're all good. Thanks for tuning in, you and everyone else. Yeah, I guess music is so integral in so many ways in life, and it could be one soundtrack to certain moments in one's life, or it could be an ongoing theme, or you could have less attachment to it. It's all unique to the individual and their ears for whatever sounds that resonate with them. It could be some whack ass shit to other people, but it could be a lot meaningful to them. Like whatever, but I don't know. I feel like there's some, if you think about things more in like objective truthfulness, sometimes it's like, hey, like there's a reason why there's, a gazillion songs about whack MCs and that kind of stuff in the hip hop realm. And like, to like, just keep it real. It's like, I feel like they were also trying to sharpen their blades with each other, swords, but S words. And you take it to like the rap battle scene and that kind of stuff. And you
Oh.
see these people, after the battle, and they're, dapping it up, shaking hands, like showing respect and all that stuff. And it's a means for catharsis as well, the ventilation of that righteous anger, that alchemical magic that is bestowed to the listener through their trauma and hardships and stuff, and how they're wielding it through their words and articulating it and showing and expressing how they were able to overcome, or the hardships they were dealing with, and people can relate to that. And it's just on and on and on it goes, and throughout any kind of subject there is, right? So yeah, I've just made an effort to showcase a wide variety of the spectrum of human experience and emotion, and concepts, philosophy, spirituality, as I like to say sometimes as well, that good old natty law, and the codes of consciousness through so many different musics. And that audiovisual packs a punch, and it takes a lot more time to make. So those are more few and far between, but just having a dope ass soundtrack to a specific theme of what people might be going through or learning about, and exposing the matrix or whatever, right? There's so many things to cover in life that mean so much, and to hear it through music is quite unique. Yet it needs to be supplemented with the proper information, because there's a lot of things that go over people's heads, because people drop little lines and like references, even in podcasts. Like, do people understand what those references refer to, especially in context? And then you learn more, and it's like, oh wow, that's a lot deeper than what I initially thought it was. And then a couple years later, it's like, oh shit, it actually means this now. Like, that's even, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now that I have a sort of like a stronger awareness, and I'm still always going through that trivium process of continuing to learn. But yeah, like KRS-One's lyrics hit differently now with a certain understanding than they did back then when I was listening to his music. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hell yeah. Especially that astrology session, a couple ones he had. Like, wow. Yeah.
So yes, so we need to end because I don't want to compete with other podcasts. So because I think the End Evil podcast is happening now, and we love Chris, and we love the book that he's coming out. I think it's called The Book That how this book changed my life or something like that. That's the name of it. Yeah, I just got it in the mail. Haven't cracked it open yet, but I'm about to read it, and I'm very excited that Chris has that book. Anything else? Should we?
No. Peaceful Penguin said it proper as well. Choose what resonates with you, and leave the rest. We don't have to dwell on the negative sides and the like. Mention the whole whack MC stuff, but it's kind of like for some artists, it's kind of like a one-off. You take it album by album. They're not gonna have a whole album dedicated to whack MCs and all this stuff. It's just like maybe one song throughout 14 tracks, whatever, and then like onto the proper shit that means more than just all these stuff we're just trying to leave in the dust. And like, hey, like, don't be stuck in there. Like, listen to what the fuck I said and course correct your shit, and let's go. Don't jump on the fucking bandwagon with your pants sagging, breathing hot shit like a banshee dragon, whatever the fuck. That is untamed, not the alchemical dragon that we're supposed to master within oneself. And that kind of refers to the ego, keeping that shit in check and wielding it to our betterment. Anyways, yeah, climb that alchemical mountain, right? Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much, Derek. I love everything that you said. And yes, check out Chris Jansen's podcast now that's happening. Buy his book and Evil also. And thanks so much in the chat for being so active. Thanks again to you, Derek, for all that you've done for SoundPath and for sharing your beautiful music. I consider it yours. You've put a lot of work into the visuals, into having the listening ear to detect what parts go with which parts. So, but yeah, so anyway, thank you so much.
Likewise, Geri. And yeah, thank you all for checking this out, everyone. And we will leave you with one last little snippet. Why? Because we got the slightest second to do so.
Hey.
And just think about rolling things in 29 30 days is when this thing pops off with SoundPath of Freedom. So yeah, keep that marked on your calendar. And thank you so much for checking this out and following us. Please subscribe to that SoundPath of Freedom YouTube channel as well, because
we can't let go of the dream, it's so passionate. I taste success like I'm sipping on a glass of it. The movement's so massive, dig. I'm here to play my part to bring an outlook that's classic, big. Taller than the view that's seen on city landscapes. I write expressions so much at time my hands ache. The plan's weight getting more heavy. Supposed to be the big break, it sound kinda sketchy. I don't know, man, you're losing me here. Take your back to reality, the picture's more clear. Final four dreams, the scenes need more beer. Count all the jewels, there's 12, they all here. The simplest concepts can be so complex. That's why Mike should never hear him speak nonsense. Thought-provoking content, those focus so prominent, it alarms the mass like a bomb threat. Explosive motives can be dangerous. I guess it really depends on what the angle is. There's only one true way to be saying this. Love is the answer, the universal of all languages.